Right? First and foremost, want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bashim Yamashah, Bashim Kapudash. Second, I want to give double honor to the Apostle Jim Master Word of Well. Peace, blessed salutations to the hopeful elect out there. Salaki. Oh, Salaki. On the Monday mornings. Alright, as you can see, I want to remember this one right here. This, you have it. I was looking at this video. Nelly shot Rax, Nelly a shooter. And you have other, so-called Jakes, so-called black men, that they always deemed as a gangster, a rapper, a shooter, as a criminal. One thing they always want to give us something to honor is, folly, vanity, and the worst cruel of a person to follow. Cause all these niggas are just terrorists amongst their own people. Now, does it? Do these same niggas, do they try to do good for the community? Do they try to look out for the widows or the fatherless, or do they teach? Do they go out there and get the spoil, or do they, do they set businesses up? No. And one of the key things of true hatred that happened amongst our people was, I was watching Soft by Underbelly. I was looking up, I think his name was Ty something, one of the gangster disciples, one of the old heads there. And he's pretty much talking about how after the civil rights, and they brought in 1960s, they brought in Superfly, the black exploitation. That's when they really deemed and demonized and destroyed pretty much our last stronghold of the so-called black men wanting to be conservative and wanting their own, and wanted to fight for, how you say it? A piece of land, basically a piece of something to have of our own, which were bamboozled by Esau, his strategic plans. And he said after Superfly in the black exploitation era, it was very, decisive, not decisive, very, forgot the word that he used, but it was, after they saw, the so-called black man, well-dressed, money, riding in a Cadillac, and, he said at the end, he beats up the so-called man, the white man, with, as he said it, the man, and then he was able to walk away free and riding away with his Cadillac as if he conquered the world. That shocked the world, that shocked Jake's mind. So Esau knew what he was doing to put those images and psychological decay of our people on television and see how he can persuade and turn the masses of our people. So, Esau is a very tactical, strategic devil. And this is why now, at the end, the Yahweh Bashim Yamashah has set up the elect, how you say, the prophets last. So you had your man's, I was watching Elder Karad Zaba from Baltimore. He was pretty much Dr. White. He was talking about one of the most extremist and hate groups there is the so-called black Hebrew Israelites, right? Now, it's museums all over America, and it's platforms all across America, which shows you what Esau did to so-called blacks, so-called natives, and the so-called Spanish, so-called Latinos, Hispanics. And you talking about hatred, and also you have, uh, yeah. On to the video, you have had all these strategic doings of your wickedness to destroy our people from being a nation. Hey, the script, like the scripture says in Psalms 83, it said, "Let them cut them off from being a nation." You know. So, and this is why going back to the William Lynch letter, he talked about breaking the trust, the old and the young, the light against the dark, the short against the tall, woman and the man, etc. This is how you destroy a nation. Well, one thing I wanted to take from that, I hate fucking YouTube, man. Now, one comment I saw, and it says, "My heart goes out to these children. They're indoctrinated, hypnotized, and brainwashed." Yeah, by that witchcraft of Esau and mind controlled, and they're oblivious to it. Yeah, they don't know. Instead of them seeing this is a problem, nah, they how you say it? They put it on high. They glamorize it because nigga, black rap, drill culture is glamorized. You would think, somebody that's mentally sane would see that, yo, hold on, why are we killing each other and why is this a thing? But this has been programmed, This is the true hatred, So Esau could sleep good at night. And this was all the doings of Esau, the so-called white man, starting with the top banking families. And they did this to our people so they can sleep good at night and make money and keep us from our power. So I said, my heart goes out to the mothers of these children for having to bury them or live with the fact that their sons are serial killers, murderers, because they're not doing anything, no righteous killing. They're not defending our nation. They're not defending our neighborhoods. Well, it's not our neighborhoods, but you get what I'm saying. And it's mighty funny that Esau, after the civil rights, prior to the civil rights, Esau wanted a piece of land of his own, equalities somewhat not. And Esau said, "No, I do one better, I'll let you feel like you got a piece of this land. I'll give you this ghetto. I'll give you the slums. I'm gonna take the fathers out of the home, and I'm gonna give the women of your nation the money, Section 8, and I'm gonna give you drugs, and I'm gonna give you a pimp. I'm gonna give you a gangster lifestyle, so you men can fucking cause chaos and ruckus amongst each other. And then the woman being in a scared state, they will come eating out of our hands, meaning the so-called white man. And this is why you have a lot of so-called black women is in this psychological shock that they're in, and they're mentally fucked up to the point where they're so sick that it need to be put down." So it says, because in the fact that this is a continuing cycle. My heart goes out to the people in the communities who are terrorized by the criminal element. May we find some semblance of light in the midst of this darkness, one love. So I'm going to bring this out. So this is Sirach 30, bringing up children. This is in the GNT. So a father who loves his son will whip him often, and we never had righteous. Matter of fact, ever since due to the civil rights, which that was constructed by Esau too, George Soros, if I'm not mistaken. Prior to this, we didn't have no men, righteous men to look up to, so that he can be proud of him later, because there's no discipline and honor in the household. A lot of children don't have that fear or that honor of their parents, You know, a lot of these children, so-called blacks, Latino, Hispanics, they just do whatever because they're broken. But if they had honor, you know, I'm not gonna do this because, hey, nigga, do you know whose son I am? You know, do you know my mother? Do you know my father? Do you know my lineage? Do you know who I come from? Do you know my history, nigga? They don't have that. You know, they don't have that staying tall, walking tall spirit in them. You know, Jake is a broken people, which is willing to do whatever because they're broken and they're mentally fucked up. You know, the women, here it is, you know, the so-called black woman, Latina woman, you know, they're known for the best bodies, you know, hair, etc. And you know, and they are the biggest whores and one of the worst women to be around. You know, mainly the so-called black woman, and the so-called Hispanic Latino woman is getting up there with the so-called black woman. So it says, anyone, if a son is disciplined, he will be of some use. Salaki. But these niggas don't have any discipline, none in the household, and he doesn't know how to ordain himself or contain himself or his emotions. And that's why these niggas is no good. And ultimately, really, going back to Deuteronomy 18, if I'm not mistaken, majority of these little niggas just have to be put down. But, you know, Esau, he wants these niggas. He uses these niggas, he locks them up. You know, they go into the system, they get, you know, stamped, you know, they got to go through the things, the dealings of the prisons. You know, a lot of times they get boyfriends, etc. And they come out, you know, nothing not being helped, or, again, because this is all glamorized, you know, criminal activity. You know, Esau's created players. It's like you would think this nigga got been shot one time, you think he would change himself, but no, you know, it just made him worse. It's like a lot of things now, you know, it doesn't make Jake better, it makes Jake worse. So there's no point, like the scripture says, there's no point of inflicting him anymore, because it's to the point where it doesn't do not a damn thing to Jake but make them worse. So it says anyone who gives his father can boast of him to his friends. Anyone who gives good guidance to his son can not only take pride in him among his friends, but he can make his enemies jealous. You see that? Our number one enemy is the so-called white man, because he really wants your son to be a boy toy. While the father is alive, the sight of his son makes him happy. When he dies, he has no regrets. He is not really dead, because his father is living through his son. Because his son is like him. He has left someone to take vengeance on his enemies and return the favors he owes his friends. See that? It's like King David told Solomon before he passed away of certain, decrees and things that was set forth. But anyone who spoils his son, Esau, and the so-called black woman, anyone who spoils his son will have to bandage his wounds. See that? And these kids, these boys grow up, and these girls, they grow up fucked up. And that's why they smoke weed and they're on drugs, because they're trying to bandage their wounds. They're not healing them or curing them. They're just putting band-aids on it. It has to come out somewhere. His heart will stop every time he hears a shout. See that? So, Jake be getting roused up. You know, they're always constantly eager to go into violence. An untamed horse is going to be stubborn, and an undisciplined son is no different. If you pamper your child, which some so-called black woman does, oh, my baby could do no wrong, and play with him, he will be a disappointment and a source of grief. Laugh with him now. That's what the so-called black woman does. You know, again, you can't run. The nigga woman, you know, she just doesn't see the larger picture. There has to be honor. And we don't have no honor. And the fact that you don't even honor the same man that you laid down and had the boy with, you're pretty much showing the so-called white man's hatred that he has towards the so-called black man and Hispanic Latino man. You get that through your woman. And when you have your offspring by 9 out of 10 with the so-called black woman, all that hatred that Esau has for you comes out through her onto you and your child. Hatred, true hatred. Like that bullshit Dr. White was talking. No, true hatred. When we're dealing with the so-called black woman, you're really dealing with the so-called white man's anger, which he taught her and gave to her and programmed in her. He will be a disappointment and a source of grief, just like you saw that message. Laugh with him now, and one day you will have to cry over him. See that? Grinding your teeth in regret. And did he not say, "Oh, man, I feel bad. I feel sorry for the fact that these mothers have to live, accept that their sons were serial murderers." Don't give him freedom while he is young. Kids is able to run the streets, do what they want. There's no discipline. There's no whipping. There's no repercussions. There's no shame. And don't overlook what he does wrong. Oh man, there's a lot of signs at a very young age Jake show. But matter of fact, the black woman starts him off doing. A little girl could be twerking that too. The so-called black woman will laugh at it, and she'll get up and start twerking with her little daughter. So it's a lot. Whip him while he's still a child, and make him respect your authority. There's no authority in these households, man. Remember, no authority, no fear. If you don't, he will be stubborn and disobedient and cause you nothing but sorrow. So discipline your son and give him work to do, or else he will be an embarrassment to you. He too young to take the trash out. He too young to cut the grass. He don't do it. He young. Bunch of fucking excuses. A bunch of excuses. And when a man takes a young child out, his young son out, it could be a hard day work. For some reason, them little man-child children, they smile, they get a crack out of it, they like it, and they're proud, and they're happy. I've seen it. I was one of those kids. My grandfather was showing me how to use chainsaws at the age of 7, and a lot of you not. When he died, I think I was 7 or 8. He used to come home, cut the grass. And I pretty much think he groomed me up to do so, take care of my grandmother while he was away. And I remember he told me how to chainsaw, cut grass, etc., use up power tools and gas tools and equipment. And when he passed away, hey, I kept the thing going, I'll never forget, I was 8 years old, and a lot of you not. Around 7, 8, 9, 10, I had my own little landscaping business, man. I would go around the neighborhoods, I would go around. I had my own lawnmower, my weed whacker. Hey, it was way before trucks. I didn't have a truck. I had to push and, carry my material. But you get what I'm saying, And I'm not trying to be mushy and tell you my life story, but kids got to be put to work, man. Kids got to be put to work. This is not something, don't get shit twisted because Esau said, "Oh my, they have rights, human rights, and he's just a child, a little boy, and you're an adult when you're 21, and then when you're adult, don't fuck that bullshit, man. You gotta understand, Esau's your enemy, and all this little feelings and emotions that sounds good and feels like it could be right. That's nothing but satanic. It's the devil, and Esau's really true hatred. He wants to turn you out and make you a weakling. But with that, those who was edified, hey, shalom.